Hello and welcome. Today I am going to be reading some facts about one of my favorite shows, The Sopranos, while softly speaking. So with that, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Number 1. The Sopranos started as a movie pitch. Before The Sopranos creator, David Chase, developed the story of Tony Soprano and his family for television, he pitched it as a movie about a mobster who enters therapy to discuss problems he has with his mother. According to Chase, his manager, Lloyd Braun, made him consider TV for the first time by telling him, "I want you to know that we believe that you have inside you a great television series." Number 2. Livia Soprano was supposed to die in the first season. While Chase abandoned his movie idea, the tension between Tony and his mother, Livia, provided the central conflict for the show's first season. And that's where it was supposed to end. Chase originally intended for Tony to succeed in suffocating his mother with a pillow after she tries to have him killed in season 1. However, Nancy Marchand, who played Livia, was sick with cancer during her time on the show. She asked Chase, "David, just keep me working." He graciously obliged. Number 3. Nancy Marchand died before filming what would have been her final scenes. Just as she wished, Chase kept Marchand working until the very end. She passed away from lung cancer and emphysema on June 18th, 2000, one day before her 72nd birthday. Livia's final moments on screen were cobbled together from old footage, recordings of her usual choruses, and special effects. Marchand's head was CGI'd onto a body double. At the time, critics panned the scene, deeming it awkward creative team boasts some powerful alumni. Sopranos writers and producers included Matthew Weiner, who went on to create Mad Men, Terrence Winter, the mastermind behind Boardwalk Empire, and Aline Landris, who executive produced Girls. Number 5. David Chase only directed 2 episodes. The pilot and the finale. Tim Van Patten, who has directing credits on Game of Thrones, The Wire, and Boardwalk Empire, directed the most. Alan Coulter directed 12 episodes, including 2 of the series' best, College and The Test Dream. Steve Buscemi directed 4 episodes, including The Incredible Pine Barrens. Only 1 episode was directed by a woman. Lorraine Senna took the helm of season 1 episode Down Neck. Number 6. The Sopranos shares 28 cast members with Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas. According to IMDb, 6 regular Sopranos cast members appeared in Goodfellas. Lorraine Bracco, Michael Imperioli, Tony Sirico, Vincent Pastore, Frank Vincent, and Joseph R. Ganascoli. 10 recurring Sopranos characters and 11 one-time guest stars also appeared in the 1990 masterpiece. Number 7. Ray Liotta was approached about a role. In a 2001 Today Show interview, Liotta said he was offered a part in The Sopranos, without saying which one, but turned it down to focus on his film career. In 2003, Liotta corroborated his story for the university newspaper, the G.W. Hatchet. Having done Goodfellas, I mean, that's pretty much the ultimate in mafia everyday life. And that show is pretty much structured around Tony Soprano. There was no way I was gonna shine, he said. It just didn't seem like the right thing to do. I love James Gandolfini as an actor. I think he's great, but my ego's as big as anybody's. Number 8. Stephen Van Sant was David Chase's first pick for Tony. Before he auditioned James Gandolfini, Chase wanted Stephen Van Sant, guitar player of Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band, to play Tony. I used to listen to music a lot on headphones and look at Springsteen's LP, and Stephen Van Zant's face always grabbed me, Chase said. He had this similarity to Al Pacino in The Godfather. Then we were casting the pilot, and my wife Denise and I were watching TV. Stephen came on VH1 when they were inducting the Rascals into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Stephen gave the speech. He was very, very funny and magnetic. I said to my wife, that guy has got to be in the show. The producers didn't want to gamble on a first-time actor for the show's lead, so Chase offered to write a part for Van Sant. The character Silvio Dante, who Van Sant came to play, was in fact inspired by a short story about a retired hitman written by Van Sant himself. Number 9. Tony wasn't originally supposed to be such a tough guy. Chase didn't view Tony as such a ruthless character. This came straight from James Gandolfini. In a 2007 conversation with Tom Fontana, Chase said, "Jim showed me early on how much of a jerk that guy would have to be. The first day we shot, there was a scene where Christopher said he was going to sell his story to Hollywood. In the script, it said something like, Tony slaps him. But when we shot it, all of a sudden, Jim was out of his seat. He picked Michael Imperioli up by the neck, by the collar, had him almost off the ground, and said, 'What? Are you crazy?' And I thought, of course, that guy is surviving the mob. He's really a dangerous person. He's not a fun guy." Number 10. Lorraine Bracco was originally asked to play Carmela. After portraying a similar role in Goodfellas, the Sopranos producers originally envisioned Lorraine Bracco as Tony's wife, Carmela Soprano. It was Bracco who asked to play Tony's therapist, Dr. Jennifer Melfi, which she thought would be more of a challenge. Bracco later said of playing Melfi, "I was not ready for how difficult Dr. Melfi was to play. I am an explosive girl. I am loud. I am full of life and full of all kinds of BS, and I have to sit on every emotion, every word, everything to play this character." Bracco went on to garner 4 Emmy nominations and 3 Golden Globe nominations for her performance. The wonderful Edie Falco, of course, was cast as Carmela. Number 11. Dr. Melfi was modeled on Chase's real-life therapist. In a 2006 interview with Rolling Stone, Chase revealed that Lorraine Kaufman, his therapist during the time he conceptualized The Sopranos, provided the inspiration for Dr. Melfi. She had the same way of cutting through your BS, he said. Not only did Chase tell Dr. Kaufman of her influence, Kaufman became involved in the character's psychological development. After 3 or 4 seasons, she wrote me a breakdown of the Soprano family, Chase said. This is not a Bible, but every once in a while we get it out. Strangely enough, these fictional characters have, in fact, behaved in the way she predicted they might, even though we might have forgotten she ever wrote it. Number 12. Michael Imperioli thought he blew his audition. It's almost impossible to imagine The Sopranos without Michael Imperioli as Tony's nephew cousin, Christopher Moltisanti. But, as Imperioli tells it, he almost didn't land the gig. They brought me in, and I met with David. I thought he hated my audition because David's a poker-faced guy. He kept giving me notes and giving me direction, and I walked out of there, and I was like, I blew that one. Number 13. Drea De Matteo played an unnamed hostess in the pilot. Christopher's better half almost didn't make the cut either. Drea De Matteo was brought in to read for the role of Adriana Lacerva during the initial round of casting, but according to De Matteo, Chase didn't think she was Italian enough. So, in the pilot, De Matteo appears in one scene as an unnamed hostess. It wasn't until after the series was picked up that De Matteo became the Adriana we all know and love. Number 14. Much of Polly's storyline came straight from Tony Sirico's life. Before Tony Sirico was Polly Walnuts Galtieri, he was a criminal. Seriously. According to the Los Angeles Times, his rap sheet was longer than his acting credits. 28 arrests to 27 acting jobs. And as both Sirico and Chase tell it, the similarities between Sirico and his character didn't end there. Polly's neat freak tendencies and unusual living arrangements were transferred directly from Sirico's real life to the screen. I lived with Ma for 16 years before she passed. David knew that going in. That became one of my storylines. Number 15. Tony is estimated to be worth about $5 to $6 million. David Chase and the Sopranos producers worked with a technical consultant, former New York Assistant District Attorney Dan Castleman, to fully understand the way the real mob made their money. According to Castleman, Tony Soprano's estimated net worth was $5 to $6 million, but this number often fluctuated due to Tony's gambling habits. Number 16. Steven Shrippa wore a fat suit to play Bobby Bacalari. When Steven Shrippa got his first script and saw all the fat jokes Tony directed at Bobby, he thought he had been miscast. He was barely larger than Gandolfini, but a couple of days before filming began, he was fitted for his fat suit, which he wore for the first few seasons. And then I guess in season 4, David thought I was fat enough on my own, so he let me get rid of it, Shrippa said. Number 17. The Bada Bing scenes were filmed at a real New Jersey strip club. The Sopranos was filmed on location in New Jersey and New York and on sound stages at Silver Cup Studios in Queens. The Bing, however, was no studio creation. Those scenes were shot at Satin Dolls, a gentleman's club on State Route 17 in Lodi, New Jersey. Number 18. Exterior shots of the Sopranos' home were shot at a private residence in North Caldwell, New Jersey. the Soprano family resides at the fictional 633 Stag Trail Road in the real North Caldwell, New Jersey. Number 19. The Sopranos was so realistic, the real mob thought there was a connected guy on the inside. FBI agents told the Sopranos creative team that on Monday mornings, all anyone could talk about was the Sopranos. And on the wiretaps they'd collected from the weekend, that's all the real life mobsters could talk about as well. Terrence Winter told Vanity Fair, "We would hear back that real wise guys used to think that we had somebody on the inside. They couldn't believe how accurate the show was." Number 20. To settle disputes over actor salaries, James Gandolfini gave each actor $33,333 of his own money. After season 4, production on The Sopranos was delayed due to a pay dispute with HBO. According to Edie Falco, the cast staged a sort of Occupy Vesuvio sit-in that shut down the set. To help quell tensions, Gandolfini split his bonus amongst all the regular cast members, giving them each $33,333. Number 21. Chase shot multiple versions of many scenes so that not even the actors would know how things turned out. Were you shocked to see Sil whack Adriana in season 5? So was Drea Di Matteo. Di Matteo told Vanity Fair that David Chase had the cast and crew film 2 different versions of the dramatic episode. One in which Adriana suspects something fishy and drives away after her final phone call with Tony, and one where, well, you know what happens. According to Di Matteo, this practice of filming multiple versions of the same scene to keep the cast and crew guessing was a common occurrence. Number 22. The show's theme song is Woke Up This Morning by Alabama 3. Originally, Chase wanted to use a different song during the opening credits of each episode, but the other producers convinced him otherwise. For the theme, Chase chose a remixed version of Woke Up This Morning from Exile on Cold Harbor Lane, the 1997 debut album by English band Alabama 3. Oblivious to the fact that his song would one day become synonymous with Jersey mobsters, Alabama 3 frontman Rob Spragg wrote the song after hearing about the 1996 murder trial of Sarah Thornton, who stabbed her alcoholic husband to death after suffering years of domestic abuse at his hands. Number 23. During the first 3 seasons, the World Trade Center can be seen in Tony's rearview mirror during the opening credits. As Tony exits the Lincoln Tunnel on his drive from New York to his Jersey burb, the Twin Towers can be seen in his rearview mirror. In a bit of Hollywood magic, since the World Trade Center wasn't actually visible from the Lincoln Tunnel's exit, this shot was removed beginning with the first episode following the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001. Number 24. It was the first cable television show to win the Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series. In 2004, after being nominated for the award 5 times, The Sopranos won the Emmy Award for Outstanding Drama Series. It would continue to be nominated every year it was eligible, winning again for its final season in 2007. Matthew Weiner, who shared the Emmy with David Chase and the other executive producers, would go on to win the award the next 4 years for Mad Men until Homeland broke his winning streak in 2012. Number 25. Michael Imperioli is convinced Tony Soprano dies in the finale. The famous cut to black and impeccably truncated version of Journey's Don't Stop Believin' in The Sopranos finale is heralded as one of the most shocking and controversial cliffhangers of all time. Does Tony get shot? Does he get arrested? Or does the whole family finish their Sundays and go home? No one but David Chase can say for sure, but Michael Imperioli is firmly in the "oh my god, they killed Tony" camp. I think he's dead is what I think, Imperioli told Vanity Fair in 2012. David was trying to put us in the place of the last things you see before you die. You remember some little details and something catches your eye, and that's it. You don't know the aftermath because you're gone. And with that, the show was gone too. So that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will see you next